2017 General Merchandise Conference, our virtual news conference here. We call this GM17, and we appreciate you all making time for us this morning. We've got a lot of exciting news and trends and focal points that we're going to be discussing over the next few days here in Orlando. And starting with today, the release of our latest original research, Creating the Center Store of the Future, Next Practices. And as all of you are aware, we do a lot of original research within GMDC. And in conjunction with our Education Leadership Council, the ELC, we have launched what we believe is a nice piece of pioneering research around opportunities within Center Store for our retailers, and in this case, really focused on the grocery channel. I think it's well known and has been covered extensively that there is a great deal of food deflationary pressure within the grocery environment, and we firmly believe that with a focus on Center Store and particularly general merchandise categories, we can help our retailer members offset some of the deflationary pressures they've been experiencing in recent months and over the last year or so. And this research really focuses on the myriad of opportunities that exist out there today around various general merchandise categories. And really from the standpoint of thinking holistically about the business with a focus on cross-merchandising and really looking at the incremental sales opportunities that exist out there today in retail, that we can help our members grow sales in a time that is widely believed to be fairly challenging across all retail channels and categories. But we think there's an opportunity to increase sales, specifically within GM products, just through a focus on cross-merchandising, really partnership within various silos within a retail environment, and again, thinking holistically across the store. I'll give you a couple of facts that we have uncovered in our research. Of 135 million U.S. households, 57% of shoppers buy non-foods annually. And in the supermarket segment, if they can convert the annual average of 3 general merchandise shopping trips to 4 in a given year, the opportunity for the category, the GM categories in the channel, is $500 million. And if we extrapolate that across 2 years, you can see a $1 billion increase in sales of GM items, and $1.5 billion over 3 years, obviously, just by increasing the purchase from 3 to 4 items per year. So it's a pretty significant number and a pretty significant opportunity. But as we think about how the consumers are shopping today, the other thing that's equally clear to us, and it reinforces something we've been thinking about a lot, is that the opportunity for retailers to really focus on the shopper and be shopper-centric and not banner-centric or not channel-centric or not format-centric, but focus on the shopper and take a shopper-centric approach to what it's going to take to increase sales. And again, I say there's opportunities across departments within a store environment. So if we can get produce talking to general merchandise, or get deli talking to general merchandise, if we can put a focus on increasing that sale from 3 occasions per year to 4, again, there's a $500 million opportunity there within the industry. But the key thing here is to focus on what the shopper's looking for, as opposed to focus on a legacy format, banner, or channel approach. In developing this research, we had a number of collaboration partners, and I'd be remiss if I didn't call them out. Thanks to Nielsen, Kantar Retail, Acosta, Profitero, Jacent Strategic Merchandising, Global Data, BHDP, and RNG, we were able to work with all of them and really curate robust and actionable insights that really drive our findings around the size of the opportunity in Center Store. I think it's been out there this week. Some interesting news developing last Friday around the Amazon proposed purchase of Whole Foods, and somewhat lost following that news was the big news earlier in the week about Lidl opening their first stores in the U.S., which we've all been waiting for a number of months, because Lidl is a global player with great strengths in a number of markets outside of the U.S. and now coming into the U.S. market. So we we viewed that as a fairly large development, but somewhat overshadowed by the news about Amazon and Whole Foods. And then this week, we've seen some additional ripples in the marketplace with executive leadership changes at Southeastern Grocers and also at Fresh Market. So again, the evolution of the channels is ongoing. The disruption is real, and we're going to spend a lot of time at our GM17 conference talking about that. We kicked off with a speaker last night, John Coyle, who talked about design thinking and the approach to innovating and playing to your strengths and designing around your weaknesses. And I think there's a lesson there for all of us, whether we're with brands or retailers, around how we train to our strengths and design around our weaknesses. And I think that's something that we'll see continued conversations about here over the next few days. Finally, I think from the standpoint of a program we launched and announced last year that we are deploying here for the first time at GM17, we touched briefly on the GMDC Academy. We have developed a platform that enables new market entrants, new suppliers coming to market, to become retail ready as we think about it. And that enables these suppliers to better prepare for meetings with retailers and to more quickly be able to scale their ideas and get their products to market. So we developed an online training platform that enables new market entrants or existing suppliers who may want to train up their new hires to get sales teams what we think of as retail ready. So that's a platform that we are deploying here at the GM17 conference really for the first time. We spent the last 8 months building out the video content, the online platform. We've got suppliers here at our conference who have been trained and are using the platform for the first time. And finally, the Retail Tomorrow platform, we've got a quick update for you on this. We had our first Retail Tomorrow event in Northern California in late March, where we put a focus on designing the shopper experience of the future. And we had a number of our supplier brands, our service solution providers, and a number of our retailers join us for 2 days in the Bay Area, where we really went deep around what Retail Tomorrow can be. And we're always very clear when we talk about our Retail Tomorrow platform that our intent is not to be prescriptive about what Retail Tomorrow is, because I think all of us would concede nobody knows what it is. But our intent in building out the Retail Tomorrow platform is to have our members join us on a journey to discover elements of it, rather than us saying what it's going to be. Let's go out and determine what it could look like. We spent about a half day out looking at some provocative retail concepts, and we also spent time with one of the leading accelerators, new product and new service accelerators in the Silicon Valley. And our friends at Google were kind enough to host us for a half day, which was quite provocative when you think about Google's perspective on brands and retail. And finally, we did a deep immersion on really designing store concepts and what the future of the shopping experience can look like. Andrew McQuilkin from BHDP Architecture was instrumental in helping us concept that. And within our Center Store Next Practice report that we're releasing today, you'll see some elements from that Retail Tomorrow journey. And based on the momentum we've created with Retail Tomorrow, we're pretty excited to announce that we'll also be doing our next Retail Tomorrow immersion in New York City in early October. And this one will really be focused on shopper engagement. So our first journey was around designing the shopping experience of the future. The next one will be really focused on shopper engagement. And again, we see Retail Tomorrow as a means to help inspire the industry around what retail can and should look like. And that could include products, store layouts, formats, technology, VR, augmented reality, any number of elements within what we think of as a retail environment. So we'll continue to put a focus there as we think our members on both sides, whether it's the retailer wholesaler side of our membership or the supplier membership, would benefit from provocative thinking, from challenging ideas around how we best connect with consumers in the future. And again, putting a focus on being shopper-centric. So that's what I got this morning. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, so
I have a question.
Dan. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Dan, you want to hit, and then Larry?
Sure.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So one of my first questions would be, obviously it's great to be getting suppliers more up to date, but one of my questions would be, what specific areas are you seeing that maybe suppliers should be capitalizing on that more consumers are looking to buy? Are there different products that consumers are looking for in their, at retail, especially at grocery, that maybe they weren't looking at a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I think good question, Dan. And obviously the way consumers buy is shifting. So search, the use of product reviews, perhaps we see with Amazon programs like Subscribe and Save or the Dash button and things like that are facilitating a shift in where and how consumers buy. Now, we believe that health and wellness and fresh are driving trips within the grocery sector.
Mm-hmm.
And again, coming back to this idea of taking a holistic approach to the box and inspiring more conversation and cooperation within the retail environment so that general merchandise becomes part of the equation, whether it's fresh, whether it's deli, or, I often say that you can take what is a legacy perceived to be health or a general merchandise item that has a health and wellness element to it. Because again, from the standpoint of what's driving those trips, there's a huge opportunity in health and wellness. So then it's a question of which DM items are relevant to that, what categories are relevant to it. Food prep and food storage are driving a big piece of this. And obviously, from the standpoint of categories that are emerging, whether it's online or in store, technology, it could be any number of things that are tech-enabled or IoT-based. We see opportunities in categories.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Larry?
Yeah, the Amazon purchase of Whole Foods obviously was a bit of an earthquake in the industry. I think it's putting more pressure on retailers. What are they saying? What are your members saying about the urgency and kind of the size of the challenge here with this new acquisition?
Yeah, great question, Larry. Thank you. I think it's important to emphasize, and in my conversations with our members on both sides of the aisle, number one, the deal hasn't closed yet, and we'll see if any other bidders emerge in the process. Obviously, there's speculation that legacy players in the brick and mortar space may come in and look to participate in this process. So we'll see how it plays out. But if it goes as planned, if Amazon closes on the deal and Whole Foods becomes part of Amazon, I think it reinforces the need that is widely known out there today that our retailers have to think different and they've got to act with urgency. We have to help them do that, and so do their supplier partners. What's not going to work for anybody is rubbing their hands and hunkering down and digging in. We've all got to be creative in our thinking and find ways to delight the customers. So I talked a minute ago about being shopper-centric and not format-centric or banner-centric or brand-centric. That's not going to work. I've got an acronym I use a lot, mostly jokingly, but it speaks to how I think about our mission. And the acronym is INAM, IAAY, which is, it's not about me, it's all about you. And I think there's an opportunity for us as an association in serving our members, but more importantly, our members servicing consumers and shoppers, to really put a focus there, Larry, and say it's all about you. And I think those that are well positioned to succeed in this, this potentially brave new world we'll be facing with Amazon in a brick and mortar environment will contemplate that in their mission and how they create an experience that the customers are looking for that's relevant to their daily lives. And again, whether it starts with fresh as a traffic driver or the health and wellness opportunities that exist within brick and mortar retail, we think there's a number of opportunities that our retail members and suppliers can capitalize on that will enhance their business. So, Amazon's a big deal. They're a big player. And this purchase, if it goes through, will be very, I think, potentially transformative for the industry. But those that are thinking about their consumers, their shoppers, with the "it's all about you" mindset, I think can find ways to maintain or grow share.
Thank you.
Other questions? All right, I think we're good. You may want to wrap up with just talking about what's on tap here in the next few days.
Yeah. If there's no further questions, just a quick rundown on what we've got going on here in Orlando at GM17. Today we are in our SEC formats, our Strategic Executive Connections. So we've got a full day today of suite-based meetings between merchants and manufacturers, buyers and sellers. Tomorrow we'll convert to our speed dating format with our connect, collaborate, and create sessions. And we'll do that Saturday and Sunday, and then we'll follow that on Monday and Tuesday with our market on-ramp, where we've got new market entrants and first-time attendees coming in to meet with all of our wholesaler and retailer members. On Saturday, our business session will be led by John Coyle and a panel of our retailer and supplier members, really talking about disruptive innovation and what our members are doing to win in this new environment. So we're pretty excited about that session that we'll have going tomorrow. We've got a first for GMDC on Sunday. We're partnering with a local charity, Feeding Children Everywhere, and we're going to be assembling meals that will go out to underprivileged kids in local communities in terms of providing meals for both school and for take home to their families. Our hope is to build, Mark, what's the number? I think we're trying to get to 20,000 meals. Does that sound right? Yes. So we're going to spend Sunday afternoon putting together 20,000 meal kits. We've got a whole a list of volunteers within our membership. So that's a first for us, and we're excited about that. Again, our belief is when we come into a community for a conference, our goal is to have a positive impact and leave something behind that increases the well-being of the community. So this is new for us at GMDC this year, and we're pretty excited about it. So an action-packed couple of days here in Orlando, and we certainly appreciate you all making time for us this morning and for your support of our mission to help our members grow in the general merchandise and health, beauty, and wellness categories.
Thank you all, and we will be in touch on all the news. And obviously, the breaking news today is the center store research, and we will follow up with that and get you further details on that.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Dan.